So how did you feel if you found out that the dentist that you've been going to for a while had been just kind of ripping you off a little bit, maybe giving you procedures that you didn't quite need?
Probably get a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go somewhere else.
How angry would you be?
I wouldn't be as much angry as I would be disappointed. It's like, all right, well, if you're my dentist and you know me, you know I come all the way up here to see you. Don't, like, you just let me down. Now I gotta go to somebody else and trust somebody else with my teeth.
Okay, so this happened about 8 years ago, right before Rob and I got married. And I decided to go into the dentist just to get my teeth checked because I thought it would be nice not to come in with a bunch of cavities or something and bring it to our marriage.
Not just any dentist, it was your family dentist.
It was our family dentist, and it was actually his son because he was starting to retire.
A family friend.
And a friend that I went to school with, high school with. And, I mean, we just love these people. We go on vacation with them. They're actually our next door neighbors. And I went in and, he had this, like, state-of-the-art office, like everything computerized. It actually was awesome. Like TVs on the like ceiling, And anyway, he came back and he was like, okay, you've got 5 cavities. And I was blown away. I wasn't totally blown away because my teeth are soft and I've always had some problem with, cavities. But 5 cavities when I hadn't had any cavities regularly for years. So I just couldn't believe it. And so he gave me the slip with the estimate of the price. And I mean, it was like enormous. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to get married with 5 cavities because there's no way I'm going to be able to pay for this. And so then we got married and we were back. And so I said, well, I better go in and take care of this. So I found a dentist in Boston and I went into him and I said, look, I went to this other dentist and he said it has 5 cavities. So, would you mind looking at it? So he looked and he's like, I've seen, one spot that's sticky, but I don't see anything else. He said, can you get me the x-rays? Oh, okay. I thought that it really struck me as odd that he said that. And so he took x-rays and then I ordered, I asked them to send their records. So they sent the records. I took them in and he just said, I can see possibly where he thinks, he might want to fill in a thing here or there, but he goes, there's not 5 cavities. He goes, you have one sticky spot that I wouldn't even call a cavity at this point. Well, then I didn't trust his opinion because I thought, how can you have one person on the extreme way over here and then one person, no, you don't even have any cavities. So I went to this other woman and we really liked her. Remember, Rob? Yeah. We wound up really liking her. And she looked at it and she had the same opinion. She said, no, you have this one, and we can go ahead and fill it. And it really shocked me because here was somebody who I know was a good guy. I know was a really good guy. He's an honest guy. I grew up with him. I mean, they have a great practice. I mean, probably the best practice in my home state. I mean, they've branched out. They make a lot of money. And, it was just a way of doing business now was this preventative. But it wasn't presented to me like that. It was presented that I had 5 cavities and I had 5 cavities that needed to be filled rather than you have one that needs to be filled and these others are potential problems. So here we are 8 years later and I've had that one cavity filled 8 years ago and I've had no cavities. None of these other potential problems have flared up in 8 years. So it was actually a little disappointing to me. He was very happy that he didn't have to pay for 5 cavities. but I guess that's my story.
Yeah, and now, like you're saying before, that now it's like you don't really trust dentists anymore.
No, I'm always gonna whenever a dentist tells me something and it feels wrong to me, I'm gonna tell them that my brother-in-law is a dentist, and so could you please write this up so I can show it to him? Yeah. And that way I'll know I'm getting completely honest information.
It's really disappointing too, because like that guy, I mean, he's someone that I know his family too. And,
I love him.
Just because maybe he started taking that more aggressive approach with his practice, but then it's kind of wrecked his relationship with you. It's like you feel like he was trying to take advantage of you.
Well, and I don't really feel like he thinks he was being dishonest. I think he feels like this is how I practice dentistry, and this is what we do. But I don't feel as a consumer of either the product or the services that was completely honest. And I'm sure getting those teeth filled the way that he wanted me to fill them would have been great. My teeth might be better and they might last longer now. But like I said, we're 8 years later. and they're still okay.
He should have presented it to you that way.
Yeah, like I see
you don't
some-
need it, but here's something that.
And so I was a little sad, but I still really like him. But I will never go to him for dental work.
Me either.
That's why patients trust or don't trust the providers. You know, just like the developing that relationship with the patients. They know whatever you recommend is. You know, I'm not going to sell somebody a treatment. I'm really aware of that. You know, I had a 17-year-old kid in my office yesterday that had like a huge occlusal. I mean, like bombed out. I thought for sure it was going to be in the pulp. But, you know, we planned an hour and a half to do a root canal in the tooth, but we took all the decay out and it wasn't into the pulp. And so, you know, obviously it was, my assistant's like, are you going to root canal it anyways? I'm like, no. I mean, I would, obviously, yeah, I'd love to, because it would be, you know, we blocked out an hour and a half and I'm going to get paid $150 to do this occlusal versus $900 to do the root canal. But we're, you know, the kid's 17 years old, and if I go to a root canal on at this age, you know, that tooth has a limited number of years left in it, even after the crown and everything, because we grew faster than we thought we were going to, and so they were used to going home like, you know, 4:15. It was kind of like everybody was winding down, and now, you know, we're busy until 5 o'clock. Go home at 5:30, and I go home at 6:30, and it's just a much higher pace practice than it was, and so obviously it's a real big compliment when a patient sends somebody your way. And maybe it's the newness factor. Maybe it will wear off. But we've had, you know, a lot of patients refer people to us. But we have one girl now that's all she does is track those referrals. When a patient comes in, we ask them. You know, it's her only job when they walk in is to ask them, you know, who should we thank for sending you to our office? And I would, you know, never do something if you're doing this treatment because it's for money. Then you probably should look at it again because it's going to mess you up at the end of the day. You know, let the money, it'll be there. Just let it take care of itself. But